So let's go ahead and let's move on to another game. Carlos, I know that you're excited for this game, and you should be.
Oh,
This is the day, this is the moment that all Miami fans have been waiting for. They have done a phenomenal job this offseason in the transfer portal. And they're a team that I see as like kind of a quiet underdog this year. Especially with the 12-team playoffs coming in, they can definitely find themselves in a spot, and they're the team that if you sleep on them, I feel like that they can upset you. But Florida and Miami are facing off this weekend. Carlos, do us the honors and let's kick this game off and let's see what you're looking
man.
at this weekend for your old Hurricanes there.
This is, for years, Miami wanted Florida every year like they do Florida State, and we had the state champions, and then Florida quit. They didn't want to do it anymore because the SEC is so tough and blah, blah, blah. They were just scared. That's all it was. So it's not going to be like in the past so much, but Miami, like you said, has done a great job in getting key players in, and one is Cam Ward at quarterback. It's not like it's going to be their best quarterback they've had in a while. Everything that I've seen out of spring ball, this guy is going to light it up. He can sling the rock, and it doesn't matter if it's 50 yards down the field. This guy, you put in perspective, had 3 years as a starter. He's thrown for almost 12,000 yards, and he's scored 100 touchdowns, which is ridiculous. He knows what to do with the football, and he's got a lot of talent in Miami. And the problem is on the other side with Florida, their quarterback they get in with Graham Mertz, he's the opposite. He's never had a season over 20 touchdowns. I believe he's got 5 years of college football already under his belt. No more than 8,000 yards total. And he's a dink and dunk guy. And I think Florida doesn't watch it. They could fall into the Miami is definitely going to be better than Georgia Tech. And if you don't push them vertically in Miami, if there is a weakness on their defense, it's that secondary. It could be a long day for Florida, but it is Florida, man. Florida teams, supposedly they're going to be good on defense. I don't see it. They've got guys that could be good, but when you got a guy who's been playing for 3 years, he has 21 tackles and 1 sack, that doesn't scream good to me. Another guy who hasn't played in a year and a half, like there's a lot of what ifs, but these two teams are gonna come at each other and punch each other in the mouth. So, but Miami has the edge in so many. They've got the better defense, offensive line, the quarterback's better. And I didn't even mention they get Damian Martinez from Oregon State as a running back. They're running backs at Miami, which has always been strong. It's definitely strong in Florida. It's not good. Their one player just got knee surgery over the summer. He's a game time decision, but if he hasn't practiced any through the summer here, so Florida could be. And I'm trying to not be as biased as possible here and looking at everything. I just don't know where Florida you can go. Okay, they got the win here. Miami's loaded up at wide receivers. Man, I don't know. And you're right. The last projection I saw, Miami could be the number 3 team in the college playoff. Like they're primed to, and they need it. Their coach is on the hot seat. They're primed to make the 11-1, 12-0 run here. So, but this is just the start. Florida's got a tough schedule, so they can't look. I mean, but if your first game is the Miami Hurricanes or the Florida Gators, you spent all summer prepping for them. Nobody else. Trust me, I've had big games before, and you're prepping to win that first game, especially when it's a rivalry and state game. So we'll see, man. You just got to get through the battle of emotions right off the bat, and it'll probably be a little bit of an ugly game in the beginning, but I think you see their defensive line and linebackers are good. That defensive line for Miami is a little scary. They got Ruben Bain, who last year was a true freshman, man, just wrecked it, and he's primed for his sophomore season. So this is a guy that's going to go number 1 in the draft in a couple years. So should be interesting. Yeah. But I see Miami taking this game.
It's never a disappointment. And the atmosphere there in the swamp is going to be absolutely electric.
Ridiculous.
I mean, I'll probably feel a little like of the shockwaves here in Tampa from Gainesville this weekend, just because of how crazy it's going to be. But Scooter, do you agree with Carlos? Do you disagree with Carlos? What are you looking at for the Miami Hurricanes and the Florida Gators this weekend?
I've been in every stadium minus Miami. I've been in the student section for FSU when I was at USF. I got numerous drinks thrown on me when we won that game. That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you, BJ Daniels, for that one. I've been at UF, not in the student section. I was at UF when USF played them. And I tell you what, the swamp in Doak Campbell as well for FSU is just a completely different atmosphere. I don't care who you are. Florida is insane when it comes to football. UM, Florida, FSU, USF was up there at one point or another, and we're making a comeback. UCF with the trampoline, it's just insane. Yeah, dude, the swamp is a different beast. I don't care what team you are. Going into that is kind of intimidating. Cam Ward, I thought, was up for a Heisman run, and then he kind of fell off the run there with Washington State. Excellent quarterback, dual threat, great accuracy. Miami did an absolute killer number in the transfer portal and recruiting. UF, you got Graham Mertz. He's not as a deep ball threat as Cam Ward. He's more of a calculated guy. If you watch his earlier tape from Wisconsin, he works well in the pro offense. There's a lot of play action. Napier with UF kind of wants to get to more of a controlled game with some deep ball threat there. They're absolute track teams. If you look at Miami and UF, every single time it's a track team. You could put any dude from freshman to 6-year senior or whatever, and they're going to absolutely blow you out of the water for track, right? So just speed all around, minus probably the quarterback for UF right now. But you're going to see more of a calculated game for UF. You're going to see probably more of explosion from Miami. Defense is absolutely going to make this game. It's not going to be, I think the analysts have it at like 53.5 points or something stupid overall. I don't think it gets to that unless Miami starts pulling away. I don't think UF puts up big numbers on Miami's defense. Miami's defense needs to be more consistent, at least on paper and through tape. UF still has some stuff to prove. It's still an SEC defense. Let's keep that in mind. And they're playing at home. Overall, I think Miami wins, but it's not going to be as handed as some fans think. I think Bill Napier's got something going. He is also on the hot seat. If you want to talk about two coaches who are on the hot seat here, Cristobal, and I know we're going to get to this too, but Cristobal and Napier are on the hot seat. If you want to prove your case as a coach, starting with game one, it's this game with UF and Miami, and I think Cristobal gets the win here.
And I think that's the recipe for a great game. I mean, what better way to kick off? I mean, the schedule makers, I don't know if it's the same as the NFL. You can definitely correct me because you two are more in the college world than I am. But the schedule makers for this weekend did a fantastic job. I mean, just the kickoffs for some of these games is just incredible. And this game right here, this in-state rivalry, that is definitely one that I am going to be watching